What's up, everybody? This is David, the sports and gamer nerd, coming at you this Friday. Ravens versus Brown Eve weekend. Want to discuss a topic with you guys today that, even as a Ravens fan, I must admit, and yeah, it sucks to admit it, but the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the black and yellow, when it comes to drafting wide receivers in a modern era, they are the best in the business. Um, it sucks to admit that, but over the next few minutes, we're going to discuss why I believe that. And again, as a Ravens fan, it sucks to admit it, but gosh darn it, after so many years, and even taking one of those guys for our own, we got to give credit where it's due, right? So, quick history on the Ravens at this position. The greatest wide receiver that the Ravens ever drafted, think about it, is Torrey Smith. Now, Torrey, he's had a good career. You know, he's number two at best in his prime, a number two receiver for a period of time, and then dropped down to about, like a number three level receiver. And he's the best receiver. If you go back in the history of the Ravens draft, you'll see names like Brashad Perryman. You'll see names like Mark Clayton, Marcus Smith, Justin Harper, David Reed, Demetrius Williams. These were some of the guys that we drafted. Yaman Figures. Man, just so many names that didn't quite work out. And so when you look at getting to the Pittsburgh Steelers and just their legacy of just crazy good drafting of wide receivers, so of the modern era. So let's go back and start with Heinz Ward. Yes, that guy, smiley guy, the guy who us as Ravens fans, he got under our skin. But from a respect standpoint, he was a tough, great competitor on par with like Anquan Bolden. So let's go back and look at what's the GM's name for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Kevin Colbert. Under Kevin Colbert, the Steelers, let's go back to right before 2000. So they had Antoine Randall. That was 2002, actually. But they had, if we remember correctly, they had Heinz Ward, Antoine Randall. They also drafted, let's see, some names that stick out here. Santonio Holmes in 2006. And that was in the first round. Mike Wallace in the third round of 2009, who later on we signed as a free agent. Now I'll get to that in a second, about the Ravens' use of free agency for wide receivers. 2010, Antonio Brown in the sixth round. Also in 2010, in the third round, Emmanuel Sanders, who, while he didn't have a 1,000-yard season for the Steelers, he would go on to have 1,000-yard seasons with other teams. Let's see, what else we got? We got Marcus Whedon in 2013. He was so-so. Got Martavius Bryant in 14. He was so-so. But then you got Juju Smith-Schuster in 17. James Washington in 18. And then Deontay Johnson, 2019. And then, of course, Chase Claypool this past draft. And then just names, like I said, Plexico Boris and those guys, and even like Nate Washington was like a number three. 6 of those receivers drafted over that time period, 6 of them, guys, had 1,000 yards with the Steelers. Like I said, Emmanuel Sanders didn't, but he would go on to play, of course, for the Denver Broncos, got his big money contract, and then now with the New Orleans Saints. He also had a stint with the 49ers. but he would also prove to be, a good receiver as well. And I don't know if it's like scouting or what goes on, but we just haven't really hit the mark the way the Steelers have repeatedly hit that mark on wide receivers and played their guys right away. I mean, similar to us when it comes to like tight ends or linebackers, like we're good at that. But we never quite solved the receiver riddle. I know we got like Hollywood Brown, who's okay. Boykin, who I think he's in boom or bust territory now. Just hasn't done enough. And then we got Devin Duvernay, who has potential, and James Prochet, who also has potential. But man, when you look at like Chase Claypool, and I did a video on this. When you look at Chase Claypool and compare him to Miles Boykin, they both came out of Notre Dame a year apart, and Chase Claypool looks like a Pro Bowler. Miles Boykin barely, is even on the field. So, for what it's worth, this Ravens fan, while I may be jealous of the Pittsburgh Steelers' ability to draft wide receivers, I can honestly say that I respect those guys for that ability. They've proven time in and time again that when it comes to that position, they know what they're doing. Now, one thing I wanted to say as a Ravens fan is that I have a wish. You guys ready for this? This might be controversial to some people. It might make some people angry. But Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent at the end of this season. Unrestricted free agent. And as a Ravens fan, he's been secretly one of my favorite receivers in the league. I liked Juju coming out of the draft a couple years back. I wanted us to draft him. Of course, we didn't. He ended up going, I think it was the second round. I want to say second round to the Steelers. And, man, I think a guy like that, put in the right position, opposite a speedster like Hollywood, learning from a guy like Des Bryant, I think him in purple, he could be a great possession receiver, a strong guy to the ball who can run routes. He's not a speedster, but he can learn a lot from a guy like Des Bryant. What's going on, Matt? Thanks for joining the live stream here. Sorry, guys. I was up late last night. We had a Team Keep It Clean live stream over on Ravens channel. I had a lot of guys on there, including myself. So check that video out if you guys get a chance. That was pretty cool. And shout out to Engraven and the rest of the community, by the way. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, I just want us to get Juju. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Matt. I'm trying hard here on my channel, and going to bring you guys a lot of great content. Like I said, interviews, future NFL draft prospects in my network, future NHL draft prospects in my network. So it's going to be pretty exciting over the holidays and after the holidays. But getting back to what I was saying, I really want Juju next year. So what we got going on next year with the receiving core, Willie Snead's contract is up after this year. So he'll most likely be gone. And then that'll leave an opening. And then Miles Boykin will most likely be on the training camp bubble with something he has to prove in order to be on the team. And I think Chris Moore will be gone because we don't use him anymore. So let's say we lose those three guys. That'll bring up Devin Duvernay and James Prochet to more more relevant areas on the depth chart. And then I say we go out and we sign Juju Smith-Schuster. We signed Des Bryant to an actual multi-year deal so we can keep him. So then we'd have Juju, Des, Hollywood, or Marquise because he has to earn the Hollywood name back. Shout out to everybody. Marquise, I'm sorry, Juju, Marquise, Des Bryant, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay. So I think that 6 wide receiver spot will be filled by most likely a draft pick. I think at this point, Eric needs to draft in the top 3 rounds until we get it right, at least 1 wide receiver every year in the draft. I think these guys, until we get a young core guys that's proven and cheap and can do this stuff, I think we draft at least 1 receiver within the first, second, or third round every single year. We just follow the Steelers' example when it comes to wide receivers. And I know it sucks to say that as a Ravens fan, but we're going to have to pay Lamar. And once we pay Lamar, it means we can't pay receivers. So when you look at the Ravens' history of receivers, as far as the good ones, they were all expensive free agents, right? So I actually did on my Instagram, you'll see a photo I put up when I talked about the dogs at wide receiver. Like we have all nice guys except for Des Bryant. He's the only dog left in the receiving core. But he's a free agent as well. He's like somebody from somebody else's team. We didn't draft him. So when you go down the Ravens list of actual productive wide receivers, they're all, pretty much were expensive free agents or, trade options from other teams. So we go Derek Mason, Anquan Bolden, Mike Wallace, Steve Smith, Des Bryant, those guys were the productive wide receivers on the team. And they developed and learned how to play the position with other teams in the NFL. They weren't drafted by the Ravens. They were from elsewhere. And that has to change. We have to be able to have cheap wide receivers going forward. Once Lamar gets that big contract, which is inevitable, he's going to get paid. And so we won't be able to afford the big old free agent wide receivers anymore. We can draft tight ends, we can draft running backs, and we can draft O-line really well. I would argue that Lamar Jackson is the greatest quarterback we ever drafted. Flacco was average, who had the ability to play above average sometimes. Lamar Jackson is special, like superstar level special. He just has to be more consistent, and that'll happen naturally as he grows up. I mean, here's the crazy part. Lamar's still learning the position. He's still learning his job. He's not even there yet. Right? And people forget how young he is because of how good he's been. But because of that, we're going to have to constantly reload the gun to get him young, drafted good wide receivers. Because like I said, we won't be able to afford, the big old free agent once we pay him. And we're probably going to pay him next year. So let me see what we got here. Yeah, we definitely need a third tight end, Matt. People, you're right about that. But I'm not worried about as far as drafting tight ends. I think we got that. We got great at that. And I expect us to get a good tight end as well as offensive linemen in the draft. But like I said, top 3 rounds, got to get another receiver. Got to keep reloading the gun. Got to keep this core healthy for Lamar. And so getting back to the Steelers, congratulations to them for being, in my opinion, the best in the business when it comes to drafting wide receivers. And, hey, Spongy, what's going on? I saw you in the live stream last night. I believe you were in the live stream. I think I saw you. But yeah. So like that's my admission. I didn't lose a bet, but I wanted to come on here and be honest about my feelings about this. Wide receiver is my favorite position. And so, us being good at drafting it is something that I'm hoping improves. But as a Ravens fan, again, I must admit, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the modern era for the past 20 years are pound for pound the best in the business when it comes to drafting the wide receiver position specifically. So sucks to admit that, but I got to, and that's really it, guys. That's it for this video, I think. Don't want to hold you guys too long, but this weekend we got, I think it was this Monday night, we got the Cleveland Browns. I know the instinct of the Ravens fans is to say, hey, it's just the Browns, we got them. But the truth is, they're pretty good. And they could beat us. They won 9 games so far this year. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's been a crazy year. We wish the best for Dez. Let him come back quick. Just want to get that guy on the field and just consistently use him. I think he'll go a long way for the offense going forward. It'd be good to get our tight ends back. And, we got Mark Andrews coming back, so that's great. I hope Lamar doesn't, you guys know how he focuses in on Mark Andrews in Hollywood. Hope that's not a thing anymore. Hope he spreads it out. And that's it, guys. I mean to sound melancholy, but just had to come on here and admit the truth. I hope we can get some wide receivers in the draft this year. Like I said, keep reloading the gun. Use the guys we have properly. Miles Boykin is probably going to be on the bubble. And, guys, like I always say, man, go Ravens. Let's see what we got in the comments before we get off here. Yeah, appreciate that, Spongy. Appreciate that, Mad Fever. Guys holding it down for me today on this Friday. Unannounced live chat. So in the future, I'm going to do more heads up for things because sometimes I just spring it on people. But definitely appreciate you guys. I believe you guys are both subscribed. Like I said, we got some cool stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. I got some unboxings to do. Got some cool stuff to show you guys. And then, we got obviously the game reviews and so forth and post games, live streams. And I think I have an interview with a National Hockey League draft prospect. And I'll most likely have another interview with a future NFL draft prospect as well. If you guys haven't, you should check out the interview with Malik Scott. That went really well. It looks like he's going to get drafted here in the next few years. He's a 4-year starter. And so, yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff coming. I try to keep my channel a little bit different than everybody else's. Try to give you information that you're going to need and try to give you honest analysis. I appreciate that, Spongy. I appreciate Engraven and his support as well. A lot of his fans, would definitely appreciate my channel. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here, guys. Grab some lunch and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Matt Phoeba, Spongy, thanks for holding it down and, being hardcores out there for me, guys. Go ahead and, you can post this video if you want to your social media and help me out. That'd be great. I'm marching to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, that's my goal. And so my next hurdle is going to be 300. And then we're just going to keep going. All right. Bless you guys, man. Bless Spongy. Bless Mad FIBA. Appreciate you guys. That's it for this stream. And I will talk to you guys soon. Ravens versus the Browns on Monday Night Football coming up soon. And remember, like I always said, guys, like I always said, wash your hands with soap and hot water. Put your mask on. Keep your mask on. This stuff is not fake news. It's real. Ask the Baltimore Ravens how real it is. Okay? I love you guys. I want you guys to stay safe. And, I will see you guys soon. Oh, give me some feedback on my merchandise. I'm not asking you to buy anything, but go into the description of my channel. Check out the merch. We got Prince the Pug, my doggy, as my logo. Check out the merch. We got different colored T-shirts, different color hoodies, and so forth. My family's about to buy a bunch. Obviously, family and friends support you. But we're looking to grow this thing. So give me some feedback. Let me know what you're looking for, and we'll make it happen, guys. All right? Peace out, and I will see you soon.